there any Midwestern white farmers on this app? I need y'all to confirm this shit. Did y'all really think black folks was gonna work in those fields after y'all got rid of all the immigrants?
Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real MVPs. So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You, and I thought to share where internet is reacting to the fact that some group of white farmers are outraged to the fact that after they massively voted for Orange Man in order for him to get this undocumented immigrant deported, and they ended up not getting what they ever wanted by getting the black people to go do these jobs. A pine-colored band actually reviewed this, and people are reacting to it. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment.
So now that I have fallen down this rabbit hole, I just jumped onto Twitters, and I got an alt Twitter where I pretend to be a MAGA guy, and I saw a live, and I am not kidding you. This dude, all these dudes in these farmer dudes in there, these farm owner dudes, are saying, well, we thought the blacks would come back and do the jobs because they don't have jobs. Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but black people have jobs, and you thought you were getting your slaves back is basically what you were saying. Like, that's what you thought. It's still going right now, and I'm not going to post a link to it because I don't want to give these people a voice. But they think they're in a safe space on Twitter. They're not.
That man said he went up on the Twitters and he saw them the white farmers, saying that, oh, well, we thought the black folk were going to come back and do the job. He said that they said the blacks, but he said they were convinced that when they started deporting these non-black people of color, right, that we were going to be taking their places back in the fields. Essentially, they thought they were getting their slaves back, right? They thought slavery was going to come back full force. We were going to be like, oh, okay, let's get on back to them fields, because they don't think black people have jobs. But it makes sense, because remember when Trump said they're taking your black jobs? Y'all remember that? Yeah, what do y'all think he meant by that? He meant the people that are in the fields now, right, which are the Hispanic community, the Latinos. He meant that they were taking our black jobs. See, because he thinks that black people's job is to be up in the field. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what he thinks. So it all makes sense now. They really thought, these farm owners really thought that black folk, they were going to deport the Hispanics, the Latino community, and that black people were going to go back to the field working for nothing. And they tell us to stop living in the past, bruh.
So y'all remember when it was said that we taking all the black jobs? They really thought that we was going to be looking for black jobs, y'all. And I woke up this morning, I was scrolling through TikTok, and I saw this guy made a video, and I saved it to my favorite, so you can go look for it. And he said he was pretending to be MAGA on one of those other apps. He said they were doing a live, and the farmers were saying that they thought that the black people would be looking for jobs to work on their farms. Now you gotta be kidding me. Do they think we really looking for farm work? Do they not know that we are educated and we got degrees? And being a farm worker ain't even in the jobs categories that we be looking for. They really don't know how educated some of us are. They don't know how many degrees a lot of us have. They got to be really lost if they think that we want to come and work on their farms. They don't know that our parents and our grandparents growing up wouldn't even let us be outside if it wasn't no shade outside. Do they really think that we gonna work on a farm where ain't no shade trees at? I hate to disappoint y'all, baby, but you gonna have to get somebody else to do it, because we ain't working on nobody's farm. Never. The only way you gonna see black people working on a farm is if they own the farm, because we not working on nobody's farm as no workers. So I hate to disappoint y'all. If y'all thought those was black jobs that black people looking for, honey, you better think again, because black folks that I know got good jobs. We've had a black president, we had a black vice president, we got black senators, we got black congressmen, we got black CEOs, we got black doctors, we got black nurses, we got black psychiatrists, we got a lot of good black jobs. Now, I don't know what y'all thought we was gonna be farm workers for. We don't even want to work in the fast food industry. Those jobs, we don't want those kind of jobs. So, I hate to disappoint you MAGA people, but we don't do farm work. So get somebody else to do it. I'll like, share, comment, and repost. Drop in the comments y'all education and y'all good black jobs, because they don't think we got good black jobs out here. So we need to let them see it. So
To break it to you, but black people have jobs.
For watch this whole video, because he's saying that he infiltrated a group on Twitter. He got an alternate Twitter, and he's explaining how some people, white people, think that we're gonna go back to these jobs because we don't have jobs. And he's saying like, he's thinking like, yeah, they do have jobs. And our jobs is 100% minding our black ass business. What the fuck? They thought that they took DEI and make us feel like that we need a job and we're going to do anything to have a job. We will create a job before we go back into them fields, especially if it's a choice. And even when it wasn't a choice, there was a lot of folks fighting to get out of those fields. So the history that was given to us made it seem like every time somebody tried to step foot off the plantation, they had snapped off or they whipped them. The ones that they caught, there was more people that ran away than it was that they tell us about. They don't want it to be. They didn't want us to understand or believe that freedom was a choice, and there was a great cause for it. And we see it so far, so much so, in the religion that was put down our throats, that about slavery and how God allows and all that kind of stuff. So we even in our mind have enslaved ourselves. We could have been a lot farther. The only reason why they allowed unofficial people destroy our cities, you know what I'm talking about, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, just like they're allowing these masked men to go and snatch up undocumented people that we don't know who they are. They're keeping their face covered. That's because I believe those are some of the 1,500 that he allowed to get out. Because where are they? I think he gave them guns and masks because they haven't shot anybody. And if they shoot somebody, then it's going to be a thing. So they can't actually absolutely shoot anybody because they know it will fuck it up for everybody. So no one shot anybody yet. But they're taking them and they rounding them up. That's because the government have, to me, in my opinion, have employed them. And the people that's that ignorant to believe that black folks are going to go back into the field, they got to be out of their motherfucking stupid ass mind. That just goes to show you how much education that they have, they portray that they have, but how much they lack. They actually lack a lot of common sense. They really believe that we're going to be like, you know what? We're going to go back in the field. That's a, hold your breath. Hold your breath, bitches. Hold your breath.
So I know I was talking about, the Latino vote before. The Viva vote for Donald Trump. Okay, well, let's get over to the white folks. The white farmers. So, word is out now that the white farmers voted for Donald Trump because they thought they were going to get black Americans in the fields. Because they also thought black folks did not have jobs. So when we put this all together, somehow the white farmers were convinced that black folks don't have jobs. We don't work. we don't work. And so they voted for Donald Trump because they thought, okay, he gonna send them in the fields. So Donald Trump and them, with the whole Project 2025, said, okay, so we got to make this happen. So we got to cut these DEI stuff, all this DEI stuff, to put black Americans out of work. When in reality, they put a bunch of white folk out of work just to get black folks out of work. And so all these cuts that are happening are to try and harm black Americans so much till they think that we're going to go into the fields. Now, when you think about that, that makes you double back and see why they want the Latinos out. Because the Latinos, right, to them, they are reproducing entirely too fast, okay? And so they're like, we got to get them out of here because black Americans don't reproduce as fast as the Latinos. And so if we could get them out, then the black Americans can take their place in the field. This is for real. And so now you double back to the black jobs. They're taking your job. Yes, you got to double back to what he said. They're taking black jobs, y'all. Like, they have all this down. Like, they have all this whole circle. So now let's go back to the farmers, if you're still with me, okay? Because the white farmers, that's what they believed was going to happen. So if y'all got all that straight, this is the message to the white farmers. The last thing you want is for black Americans to be in your fields. Don't let the devil fool you. As a matter of fact, you might want to let the devil fool you to see what's going to happen. Well, I'm trying to tell you, the last thing you ever going to want is black Americans in your fields. Nah, I'm going to let you fill in the blank on that one. And this goes to show that they will go to any lengths. Remember I said that, first of all, we had the Latinos, some Latinos, not all of them, just some Cuban ones, talk about you're next, right? To black Americans, so they thought we was immigrants, okay? And so now we have the white farmers who are still living in the 1700s, thinking back to glory days, quote unquote. They thought with their vote, we were going to the fields. So you got one group thinking they gonna kick us out of here, and we got another group of people thinking that we going to the fields. Now this right here is a real mental problem, because people are literally stuck. I'm telling y'all, people are stuck in the 1700s when they think about black Americans, okay? I'm telling you, their thought process, they sit around probably campgrounds and picnics and stuff and talk about how can we make this happen? That was their heyday. I'm telling you, when that freaking plantation house burned down in Louisiana, I think, right? That was their heyday. Now, I'm trying to say that was their heyday. When that plantation house down in Louisiana got torched, okay? I'm telling you, that broke them. But I just want to, I want to teach them a little bit more history if I have your attention, right? If I have your attention, right? This is some history that a lot of people don't know, okay? But y'all didn't know black Americans had white servants? Y'all ain't know that? I mean, it wasn't widespread or anything like that, but we had white servants. Yeah, and they wanted to be our servants because they needed work. They were coming over from Europe. Yeah, and they were docile too. Yeah, they were docile. And black Americans, the aristocrats, the wealthy ones, because they were wealthy ones, okay? They had white servants. So I don't know if y'all ever see them pictures. Let me find a picture. I couldn't find a picture. I wasn't gonna go back and try to find a picture, but if you can watch videos, you'll be able to find a picture of possibly some black people in the horse-drawn carriages, and there may be someone white as the horseman or the coach. I'm not sure what you call them, coachman or whatever. Yeah, he worked for them. Yes, indeed. It was a big thing. It was a big thing, when everybody began to see in the early 1900s, what? Black Americans, they use the other word. Black Americans have white servants. Yeah, that's a bit of history they don't like to put on TV. And the reason for it is because they were like, okay, they had, white people here that they could hire. And they also had black people here that they could hire. But they felt that the white people from Europe were so docile, and they were less expensive. Now, they weren't the only ones who thought that. The wealthy white people thought that too. The wealthy white people were like, yeah, we like the docile immigrant white people. They're a lot cheaper. They take less money. Yeah, so there's a bit of history for you. Oh yeah, it was like that. Oh yeah, because they knew they would have to pay black Americans a lot more. Lot more. So they always went for the immigrant. And see, when the black Americans hired the white immigrants, they were like really like, yes, we will do it. Yes, we will do it. Because they wanted to stay in America. Here's the difference though. Black Americans didn't mistreat them. They didn't mistreat them at all. But anyway, that's just a little side note. But yeah, to the white farmers again, this is the last thing you want. The last thing you want is for black Americans to be out in your fields. The last thing you want. Trust and believe. And next time, you know what? Stop basing your vote on how to harm black Americans, because you're going to end up running into that wall that's going to tumble. Okay? That's what's going to end up happening. Stop doing that. All of you do it. Like, all of you. You had the conservative Asian Americans coming through with the whole Ivy League school. We don't want black Americans there. Then you had the I will vote for Donald Trump Cubans, okay, who were thinking, okay, you're next, okay? Okay, we're not immigrants, so we're not next. And now we have the white farmer who thought that they were going to get the black Americans in the fields. And then this is all off of Project 2025. So now look where you got America. Look where you got the United States of America. And a lot of people say, why black Americans think everything revolves around them? No, y'all think everything revolves around us because y'all make everything revolve around us. Y'all stuff coming out. So I know I was talking about, the Latino vote before. The Viva vote for Donald Trump. Okay, well, let's get on to the white folks. The white farmers. So, word is out now that the white farmers voted for Donald Trump because they thought they were going to get black Americans in the fields. Because they also thought black folks did not have jobs. So when we put this all together,
Like, seriously, lovelies, not only do, black people have to deal with Hispanic and Mexican or Cuban people who actually voted massively for whatsoever that is going on right now. Black people also have to deal with some group of pan-colored people who decided that, okay, even if they knew that the president or the person that they are about to vote in for is not really capable of making everyone's life a better place, but they just did that out of wanting to get people that looks like me back in the farm, just like the days, just like the 30s, the 100s, just like the days of the slavery. So when Orange Man was actually talking about black jobs, they are immigrants are taking the black jobs. You know, during that period, people were like, Okay, what does it mean by black jobs? People also goes as far as to show their professional jobs to actually prove to him that, oh, you actually thought that we are doing this Ninian job, calling them black job. Meanwhile, there are so many black people out there doing so many amazing professional jobs. But in the other hand, people didn't really, thought about what he meant by immigrants are taking the black job. That means what he meant was that the job that's being in a farm and picking, you know, just doing the farm thing was actually supposed to be the job that is being done by people that looks like me. That means this immigrant job, like all these farm works and all of that, was supposed to be done by black people. And now he just wants to massively put them out, and so many pan-colored people fall into the propaganda, thinking that when all of this mass deportation ends, black people will get themselves asking and looking for those jobs. Like these people actually thought that we are still living in the hundreds, yeah, in the 20s, or in the, like, they actually thought that black people are still the way or the place they are. They don't really know that things have drastically changed. They have, like, there are so many black professors, black doctors, like there are so many things that these tourists are doing. They actually thought that black people are going to go back and start looking for these farm works. That was why when I stumbled across a particular stage where some group of, farmers were looking for people to come farm in their job. They even have to offer them, money. And they're like, they are looking for people to come work. Black people do not want to come work. Like, so you guys voted to get this immigrant, undocumented immigrant, as claimed out of the country so that black people will come running to get these jobs. Like, the level of FA and FO this season is just something that is, commendable. Because it's as if when you're trying to bring someone down, you never knew that you are just going to end up bringing down yourself. All of the things have always been just to bring people that looks like me down. You know, Cuban people, Mexican people, Latinos, and some even African people actually thought that black Americans are immigrants. They are going to be deported next. But surprisingly, they are not. Like, this whole thing with this mass deportation is just opening people's eyes. It's revealing a lot of truth that's been hidden for a very long time. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, this has always been it. This has always been it. And it's just that they play themselves. So they can go ahead to get their relations, kids, mother, fathers, and all of that. Make sure that they apply enough sunscreen, then get going to farming those farmlands. Because if they're waiting for people that looks like me to come do this job, I believe that they are going to wait forever. I believe that they're going to wait forever. Because that in which you are planning for your fellow human being, you are just going to end up be your own downfall. There is a say that says that when one finger is directly pointing at someone, the four other part of your fingers are pointing directly back at you. And that is just this case. Anyway, love listener, just let me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So, lovelies, please share this video, subscribe, leave a thought, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next video. Thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So, lovelies, if you've not subscribed to your girl, a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.